They say that hindsight is 2020. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that means. Hey guys, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I just want to share with you some hindsight. You know, they say hindsight is always 2020, and sometimes you learn hard lessons that aren't necessarily bad. It's just that if you'd thought it through a little bit more clearly, you might have had a better result. Let me explain. Recently, as you know, I made a 700 card purchase of all California postcards of a seller on eBay, and I got an incredible deal. I'm not complaining about how much I was paying per, postcard. I got it at about 11 cents a card, which is incredible because I usually flip my cards anywhere from $5 to $15 each, on a regular basis. But as I've been going through these 4 stacks, and each stack had about 175 cards, what I'm realizing is that I found a lot of duplicates. Now, I knew that going into this sale, okay? The seller did state on the listing that there would be duplicates. But I guess I didn't catch the gravity of all that. I didn't ask them, well, do you have an idea how many duplicates? Or can you give me a percentage or a ballpark figure of how many there might be? And I didn't think to do that. I just said, okay, yeah, there'll be duplicates. I understand that, but it's a great deal, so I'm going to get it. And like I said, I'm not totally unsatisfied with it. I got a lot of great cards out of it, but I've been finding as I've been going through these stacks that I've gotten a lot of duplicates too. I mean, I must have 30 cards of the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles, California, and even though I thought that, no big deal with the Biltmore, that's a grand hotel. I think it's a 4-star hotel. That'll sell, because hotel cards sell, but to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever sold a Biltmore hotel card yet. And the thing is, when you get duplicates, okay, and just let me give you a little afterthought here. There are really actually 2 kinds of duplicates, okay? There are what they call exact duplicates. These are duplicate cards that are exactly the same in every respect. There's the same error, there's the same finish, there's the same photograph on the front. The subject matter on the front is exactly the same, shot at the same angle, same light, same everything. They're the exact same card design on the back, same stamp box, same publisher, same everything. Even if they have little, some postcards have little numbers on them. Sometimes the numbers are exactly the same. Those are exact duplicates. And sometimes that can work to your favor because that will save you actually on your free insertion fee listings, or what some people call free listing fees, okay? Because eBay gives you so many of those, and once you run out, then you have to start paying for them. But basically, that saves you on that because all you have to do is add it to your quantity of a listing that you already have listed on eBay. And if it's a popular card, then that means you can sell more. But that can work against you now if you find out it's not a popular card. And like in the case of the Biltmore Hotel, even though I thought at first this will be a popular card, it's a hotel, hotels are big sellers, I don't think I've sold one Biltmore yet. Some are different eras, some are, I have a lot that are linens, some are chrome, I have a few that are white border, but they're all the Biltmore Hotel. And like I said, if they're exactly the same and they're not big sellers, then you've got 30 cards that are pretty much, I hate to use the word junk, but because everybody's different, you never know what people want. But the thing is, if they're not big sellers, then you got 30 cards or 20 cards or whatever duplicates that are just sitting in your store month after month after month, and every month they're going to generate at least one free insertion fee that is going to cost you because they're not selling. The other type of duplicate is what I call similar duplicates. In other words, they might be the exact same card on the card face, same photograph, same angles, same everything. But on the back, they're completely different, or they're very subtly different sometimes. If they're completely different, like if one card you have that's postmarked and it's got handwriting on it, and then you have another card that has absolutely nothing on it, that's really, really different. When you have ones that are subtly different, like let's say you have one that's postmarked, I don't know, June 5th, 1970, and then you have another one that's postmarked April 17th, 1969. Well, unless there's some significance in those dates to someone, if it means something to someone, then maybe it'll sell. But if it doesn't, it's just another card that you have of the same exact card with just a different postmark that you have to make a separate listing on eBay for, because you can't sell those as an exact duplicate because they're not exactly the same. You can't just stick that in quantity and say, yeah, I have more of these cards, when you really don't, because they're slightly different. And if someone sees a photograph of one particular card and he looks at the back and says, oh, I like this design, I like that stamp box, I really like that era, I want that card, and then you send them something a little bit different, you can justify it all you want. You can say, well, the card face is still the same, and that's what's most important. But sometimes, not always. Sometimes the back of the card is important to somebody. Sometimes the style of the back, of the card, of the line going down the center, if it's a divided back, or if it's the stamp box, or, sometimes it can be something like there might be some text, a block of text, like a paragraph written on one card and only one line of text on the other card. There's these little tiny variances that could mean something to someone. And if they don't get exactly what they purchase, that's a refund looking for a place to happen. Okay. So that's why I'm saying, in reflection, I'm not totally disappointed with this, but like I said, I'm finding a lot of duplicates. And the thing with duplicates, another thing with duplicates that I have to do is, if I have to find out, if I find out it's an exact duplicate, then it's no problem. I can just add it to my quantity of an existing listing, and that's no problem. But if it's a slightly different one, then you have to list that as a separate listing. And what you're doing is you're listing the same card, only has a different back, and that's using up more of your free listings, your free insertion fees that eBay only gives you so many of. And if you run out of those, then you got to start paying for those puppies at, 25 cents, 30, 35 cents each. And that can rack up your bill that, you end up paying eBay. So I think going forward, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to be totally transparent with you guys, because that's the way I am. That's the way I roll. I think going forward, if I get any more Biltmore hotels that are exactly the same as the ones I already have listed, I'm not going to do anything with them. I'm not going to put them in storage. I'm probably just going to trash them. If they're not selling, then they're just dead wood on my store, and they're taking up space, and they're taking up insertion fees that I could be using to possibly sell another card that's completely different that maybe would sell. In the hotels, a lot of the smaller hotels, the mom and pops, the roadside motels, the ones that aren't there anymore, that were there in the 50s and 60s and 30s and 40s and whatever, 70s. Now they don't exist anymore. Maybe the owners have passed on. The building isn't even there anymore. They tore it down. They built a parking lot. They put apartment buildings up. Who knows? And, to the granddaughter, the person that maybe owned that hotel, that would mean something to them. And that's why they would want to purchase that card. But, something like the Biltmore, which has been around for like decades, and they probably made some corporate changes to it over the years, but it's still, a five-star hotel, that kind of thing. And, there's just not a whole lot of change there. And, it's the Biltmore. So, but sometimes it's not just that. I have several duplicate cards. I have this one card with, they call it the crookedest street in California, or the crookedest street in the world. And it's a very pretty card. I mean, most of the cards that I have with this are linens, and it's very beautiful. There's a lot of flowers and things in it. Very attractive card. And then I have some that are chromes and some that are white borders, but it's the same card. And to be honest with you, again, in hindsight, I don't think I've sold very many of those. I may have sold one or two. Mostly the linens. Personally, I like the linens. But again, if you've got cards that are exactly the same as ones you have listed, and even if you put them in quantity, if they're not a big seller, they're just going to sit there and collect dust, and it may be months or years before they sell, and that's going to affect your sales, your bottom line. So you really have to think about, is that really worth it? Now, getting back to buying lots, I'm not against buying huge lots, like 500,000 or whatever. The only thing is, if you see the text from a seller that says there will be duplicates or there might be duplicates, then I would challenge that seller to contact them through eBay and just say, do you have any idea of, I was just curious, do you have any idea of exactly how many duplicates you have, or can you give me a ballpark figure or maybe a percentage so I have a general idea how many duplicates there actually are? And if they can't answer that question, I would be a little cautious about doing business with them going forward, because of the fact that, like I said, you don't want to make a purchase of 1,000 cards and you find out 400 of them are duplicates, because what happens with that is you're really not getting your money's worth, because you paid for 1,000 cards and you're really only getting 600 unique individual different cards, and you're getting 400 duplicates of the same cards, which you may or may not be able to sell. Okay, so that really deters from the overall value of what you're actually, coming up with. And if you're spending $75 to $100 and then you're not getting as many cards as you thought, well, then you kind of feel a little jilted. But like I said, I'm not complaining about this lot. I'm very happy with this lot. I've gotten some great cards out of it, but I've been discovering as I've been going through them that there's more duplicates than I kind of hoped for. And I'm probably going to end up throwing some of them out, because I just have too many of the same ones that really aren't selling. So that's my thoughts on that. I think what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to stick to the smaller lots, maybe 1 or 2 or 300. And that way there's less of a chance of seeing a lot of duplicates. I know there might be some, maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 or 5 or something of one particular one, or a couple of another one. But it won't be as bad as if you bought 1,000 and you find out that 200 of them are duplicates. That's probably not going to be a good business purchase for you. So you can do whatever you want. It's your business. You can run it the way you want. Feel free to share in the comments, what's been your experience with buying huge lots and finding out you got a lot of duplicates, and what do you do with those duplicates? Do you save them? Do you keep them in storage? Do you trash them? What do you do? Okay, like I said, for the most part, what I don't want to do is I don't want to create the same listing for the same card only because it's got a different back to it, unless there's some kind of specific reason, in that date that means something to someone. And you'll see that through your sales volume, because if it's just sitting there, and you're looking at it and it's not even attracting watchers, it's just, because I always look at my watchers to see who's interested in what types of cards. And if you don't see any activity that way, or if you don't see a lot of views, after over a month or 2 months, and you see like 6 views or something, then that could be a pretty good sign that this is not really a big seller. And you can always get rid of those cards. I mean, a lot of people, what they do is they sell them off in lots, or what they do is they'll put them in up for auction and start them off at 10 cents. And, whatever they sell for, just to make something back. But again, if you do that, even with the auctions, which I don't really recommend for postcards, unless it's really something valuable, I would stay away from auctions as far as listing cards. Like I said, unless it's something valuable that the value of it, and it's gonna take off for you. Because a lot of times, what I've seen on eBay with people that thought cards that had a lot of value ended up, they start them at 10 cents and they end up 7 days later at 18 cents. And then they have to sell the card legally, and they pretty much get nothing for it. So that's just some kind of insight. And, I wanted to share some reflection on this. Again, I'm not totally disappointed with the lot, but I think going forward, what I'm going to do in hindsight is I'm just going to buy smaller lots, maybe 100, 200. And, unless I see a huge lot, and sometimes what a seller will do is actually go through the cards, every single one of them, and say there are no duplicates. And that way, if there are, you can kind of call them on the carpet and, hey, you said there were no duplicates and I found duplicates. But most of the time, if they've gone through the cards and they say there are no duplicates, they probably aren't. Or they'll say something, I've seen this too. They'll say something like, there are very few duplicates. Okay. And that means they've gone through most of the cards, and they'll just, assume from maybe 10% of them that they haven't gone through, that, well, I've gone through 90% of them and I didn't see a whole lot of duplicates. So they'll say something like that. And that's not too bad. And, when it comes to buying bigger lots, you can kind of work it that way. But I think for me, and this is just me, going forward, what I'm going to do from now on is just buy kind of the smaller lots, 100, 200, maybe 300. And even if I have a question about how many duplicates, I'm going to contact the seller and say, do you have any idea how many there are? Because you don't want to be spending your money on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards only to find out there's 20, 30, 40% of them are duplicates that you can't sell or don't sell, or are the same card and you've got like 25 of them that aren't selling and they're just taking up room in your eBay store. And like I said, every time they relist every month, they kick over every month and you relist them or do a sell similar, you're using up valuable free listing insertion fees that you could be using for other types of cards that maybe would sell better. Okay, so hopefully that's some advice and some tips. Those are just my thoughts. I'd like to know yours just in the comments. Listen, I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully that helped. If it did, if you got anything out of this video, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel. I want to thank all my present subscribers to the channel and all my new subscribers that have been coming in. Channel's really growing, and I'm just so jazzed about that. So yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts with you. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll have a great conversation about that, and maybe it'll help somebody else along the way too that's been thinking about buying huge lots and maybe rethinking some things like I had to do only in hindsight. But anyway, that's all I have for you today, guys. You guys have a great day, and yeah, that's it for now, and we'll see you on the next video. Watch out for those dupes. You guys have a great day. Take care. Bye for now.